Hello there friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and today I'll be reacting to another 2-for-1 Rainbow and Blackmore's Night special. First we'll listen to Silence by Rainbow, then we'll listen to Where Are We Going From Here by Blackmore's Night. It's always a fun time to do these kind of compare and contrasts with Rainbow, Blackmore's Night, Deep Purple, all of the through lines being Ritchie Blackmore. On this channel, we've done, I think, probably 30 or 40 Ritchie Blackmore specific reactions, maybe even more, honestly. I would have to specifically look, and each time I enjoy it, each time I'm impressed, and today is no different. So I'm excited to check these out today. But before we do just that, let's thank Graham the Melancholic for making this donation request. Apologies that you're melancholic today, Graham. But now, let's jump into Silence. Ooh. Oh my god. Some bite in those vocals. Have the rhythm guitar and the lead in the front. Wow. Right there, the lead guitar was overlapping with both, I think, of the unique riffs that appeared. The doom ba doo 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 doom ba doo doo doom, and there was another one too. That whole, moving pattern. So much drive. It's like an alarm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Oh my god. That whole outro sequence was awesome. And immediately preceding it, as I said before, we have this lead guitar that's like being played over the top of these riffs, and the drums are starting to build up, but then you have this really cool melody happening in the horns as well. It's like all at once we have like 3 or 4 simultaneous melodies and rhythms, and it, I think, is a weird statement for me to make, but I think it'll make sense. If you know of the concept of polyrhythm, you can imagine like in a measure you hear 2 instruments playing sort of in time but off beat to one another. And if you were the musician like playing in 4/3, for example, that's the polyrhythm I'm talking about. That would be very complex, but that is a micro level polyrhythm. The song, especially in that like 2 to like 3:30 kind of time range, it felt more of a macro level polyrhythm. The polyrhythm existed in the structure of the riffs relative to everything that was happening melodically and with the other instruments, rather than the polyrhythm existing at the measure level. Maybe there's a better way to like verbalize that idea. I don't know, it's almost like there's this like layering that's happening, and imagine like a certain like phrase takes 5 measures to complete and another phrase takes 4 measures to complete. Well, if you start them on the 1, it would take you all the way up until the 21st measure to be back in sync with one another on the 1 again. That's what I kind of mean by a macro level polyrhythm. Okay. Yeah, this is a fun one. I like the energy in this one. It's funny because for a song named Silence, there was very little silence. They didn't really take much space at all. It was pretty much filled to the brim with a lot of awesome music stuff. So, great song. Let's check out the next one from Blackmore's Night. Where are we going from here? Wow, it's already on full display.
On a long road, miles to go. It's winding and cold and it's covered with snow. But I ask you what we all want to know. Where are we going from here? Lines on my face, lines on my hands lead to a future I don't understand. Some things don't go as they're planned. Where are we going from here? Tracing the trails through the mirrors of time, spinning in circles with riddles in rhyme. We lose our way, trying to find, searching to find our way home, trying to find our way home.
Oh my god.
Tears in our eyes.
I say this every like handful of Richie Blackmore reactions I do, but his guitar work is otherworldly. I love how much character he can produce just from the acoustic guitar, and his ability to add unique techniques. You can even hear at the end of that phrase the natural harmonics so effortlessly. It's what adds so much confidence to tracks like this, because you could almost imagine like this feels like the standard medieval track, but when Richie like actually plays the way he does, it feels like, no, it is not a standard medieval track. It is the medieval track. I think it it has everything you'd ever want. These elements of flute, of strings, of acoustic guitar, of beautiful vocals, of, I think I mentioned strings already, some drums as well. It really just puts me into that like mental space of Game of Thrones land. It's a perfect period piece, if anything, but it's interesting because I think a period piece implies it had to have been from the period, but if you gave a time traveler access to this song, they may well think it's from their era.
Day dies with tears in our eyes. There's too few hellos and too many goodbyes. Silence answers our cries. Where are we going from here? We're all on this road, miles to go, braving new pathways into the unknown. But who do you ask when no one really knows where we are going from here? Tracing the trails through the mirrors of time, spinning in circles with riddles and rhyme. We lose our way, trying to find, searching to find our way home, trying to find our way home. Please help me find our way home.
I think I just absolutely love Candace's voice. She has this like very clear vocal delivery, but there's so much warmth and grace attached to it. It almost feels like a motherly embrace, the way her voice feels in my headphones. It's so warm, it is so pleasant, and all of her messaging is always just so it's like she's a bard. She's storytelling, and a lot of it is filled with positivity and hope, and that often is the feel that Blackmore's Nights songs kind of give to me. And it's interesting because it is, again, in stark contrast to the work that we heard in Rainbow. And obviously these are two different bands, two different groups, two different eras of Richie Blackmore. But this is something that I wish more musicians did in general, which is explore every genre that motivates you musically, sonically. For me, I have, as you can see by the reactions I do on this channel, I have such a wide interest in music. I love to hear music of all genres, all cultures, all eras, you name it, I'm there. And there's a reason for that. I didn't used to be this way. It's because there's so many almost like nuggets of musical wisdom that can be found in all of these places, and you can create wherever you want. If something inspires you in, the genre of funk, you can apply that to your own work. And for me, I look at a lot of the music listening I do as inspiration for hopefully when I have more time to actually write my own music, start performing it for you all on the channel, and going down that route of becoming potentially a practicing musician. And there's so much out there to explore and to inspire. And I feel like every day I find new things. So I would never in a million years pigeonhole myself into one genre, into one style of performance. I would want to be an open, what would you call it, playground for musical creativity, like so many of the greats are. Many of the greatest musicians ever have explored various genres, multiple instruments, different cultures, right? They've played for decades and their style evolves. It's just par for the course when it comes to art. And I think oftentimes, especially in the modern era, this gets neglected. People do things in favor of maximizing in a vertical rather than maximizing their creative artistic expression. And I get it, we have to all put bread on the table, so it is a balance at the end of the day. But the ideal world that we can live in is one that allows artists to fully explore all avenues of their art without the different constraints placed on them. Anyways, rant over. I hope you all enjoyed my reaction today. If you did and would like to request one yourself, whether it's Rainbow, Blackmore's Night, Deep Purple, or really any other band or group for that matter, I am totally game. You can click the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.